Some couples' marriages don't fall apart because of what was said. They fall apart because how it was said. It's not just the words that you speak, but it's also in your delivery.
Yes.
What's the tone of your voice? What's your facial expression? Are you yelling? Things of that nature. Because you could just be saying, I'm fine, or it doesn't matter. But if you have it in the wrong tone, then you're giving off resentment.
Yes.
And your spouse can pick up on that. And whatever you give off, it will be reciprocated at some point.
Yes.
So if you are talking and speaking and giving off resentment, giving off anger and things of that nature, you're bringing a negative spirit into your home.
Yes.
And when you invite a negative spirit into your home, then it can come against the peace that you have in your household. Your house should be a peaceable habitation.
Yes.
So, at all costs, you want to keep strife out of the home and be mindful of how you speak.
Yes. Your words build or break your marriage. So your word carries power. So, no matter how you may feel or whatever you may have come home from work, uh, it's a certain way that you talk to your spouse. Like my husband just said, your tone is very important. It could be something as simple as you asking your spouse to to take out the garbage. It's the way that you even, present that. Just always say, please. That goes a long way with in your marriage or just everyday life. So just be mindful of your words.
Mm-hmm. And James chapter 1, verse 19, it says, be quick to listen, slow to speak,
Mm.
and slow to become angry.
Yes.
So even if you are agitated, even if maybe you've told your spouse the same thing over and over and over, and it seems like they're not listening.
Mm.
This is just hypothetically. We're just
Yes.
speaking hypothetically.
Yes.
Let's just say that happened. You should still find a way to speak and not give off anger or resentment.
Yes.
When you learn how to speak calmly and things of that nature, or convey your point without trying to spark an argument, then it will cut down on the unnecessary arguments. It will
Yes.
cut down on strife and things of that nature. Now, this does not necessarily mean that you will never have an argument or things of that nature, but these are some tips that you can definitely use.
Yes.
That will cut down on some of the arguments. Because a lot of times what happens is that what you said or how you said it will offend your spouse in some way, and then they're doing little things or saying things to try to get you upset.
Mm.
And it's like tick for tack, and it goes back and forth. Who knows how long it could go on until one of you is the bigger person, or one of you just prays and breaks that negative spirit.
Yes.
Off the household and out of both of you.
Yes.
So you don't want to be going through things like that. No. So be mindful of that. And when you speak, think about, are you speaking to communicate, or are you speaking to just correct your spouse?
Yes.
Because when you look at it from a point of view that you're trying to communicate, that you're trying to articulate your point or articulate what you are saying so that your spouse has understanding, and then you are open to receive and listen to what your spouse is saying back.
Yes.
And take into careful consideration about what they are actually saying to you.
Yes.
Now you have active communication going back and forth. Because sometimes you may have to compromise.
Mm.
Sometimes you may have to find middle ground.
Yes.
Sometimes you may have to say, okay, this is how I feel. Let me know how you feel. And now we both give a little ground. We both give a little here, give a little there, something of that nature, or some type of resolution, because you could be doing something that's getting on your spouse's nerves or vice versa.
Mm.
And if you don't tell them, how would they know? If they don't tell you, how would you know?
Yes.
So only way you would know is by communication, because sometimes a spouse may not be saying certain things because they don't want to get into an argument or they don't want to argue. So sometimes they'll let little things that's bothering them, they'll let it build up and build up until the point that they eventually explode.
Yes.
And that's something that you got to be careful about, because when you explode, it could be way worse or way blown out of proportion than if you just would have came to your spouse a while ago and say, hey, I don't like you doing this. I don't like the way you're doing that. I don't like this attitude, things of that nature.
Yes.
But sometimes if you just let it fester, if you just let it build, when you finally do talk about it, now you have all this pent up aggression, this pent up emotion and things of that nature. And think about this, is that when you speak words, you're planting seeds into the atmosphere.
Yes.
So think about the seeds that you are planting into the atmosphere for your household and for your marriage.
Yes.
And your facial expression, your tone and things of that nature, they carry emotional weight. So it goes along with your words. So your spouse is picking up on all of that, not just the words, but the tone, how you're saying it, facial expressions, things of that nature. All of that stuff matters. So these are some tips and some points to be mindful of, that if you just take the time to think about not only what you are saying, but how you are saying it, it could cut down on some of the unnecessary arguments, unnecessary disagreements, miscommunication, and unnecessary strife that has been going on in your home.
Yes.
Right, baby? What you think?
Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And never come home, like if you at work, never bring work home, because sometimes that's the issue too. You know, you may have a stressful day at work. You want to leave all that behind before you even enter your house, because sometimes you can also take that out on your spouse, and your spouse doesn't have anything to do with that situation.
Mm-hmm. All right. So remember that a lasting marriage is not necessarily about how you agree on things, but how you handle disagreements.
Yes.
Because if you don't handle the disagreements well, then it blows up into something big, and you can't be happy and agree on things while you're mad, you're angry and upset. The Bible talks about not going to bed angry and things of that nature. So, hey, whatever tips, whatever tools you can use to keep strife out of your home, keep peace in your home, and things of that nature, make sure that you are putting them into action, because the words that you speak and your expressions and things of that nature, you're giving off energy and you're planting seeds and words into the atmosphere that will eventually produce fruit, good or bad, in your marriage and in your household. Glory to his name. Well, with that being said, that will bring this video to a close. So until the next one, we just want to say, God bless you in Jesus' name.
Amen.